Welcome to my super type A attempt at being Zen, the podcast. My name is Risha York, and I will be your host. If you are overworked, overtired, overstretched, overwhelmed, and just over it, you are in the right place. We like to say we are currently working towards Zen-ish. I'm thrilled that you've joined us. Let's see who will be supporting us on our path to Zen today. Thank you for coming back and joining us for part 2 of Amy Price. Let's jump back in.
What was your question again? And I don't know if I answered it.
How can organizing and purging
Yes.
things we don't love or need bring us to a more relaxed space?
Yeah, I think I did cover it.
Yeah, you
I
did.
did. It's just all around. It just makes everything so much less stressful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that.
Like I'll actually go hang out in my room because that's where most of my stuff is. So that's where I've done most of my purging. So it's like I know if I open my closet, it's perfect.
We've had a really interesting conversation around this lately because our bedroom has become a dumping ground because our door is always closed. Right? So when we have people over, the kids' room will be super organized and their bed's all made. The rest of the house will look organized, cleaned. But our bedroom specifically collects, what are we coming up to next? Easter, right? Easter stuff or birthday stuff or Christmas stuff or whatever. And I'll go through and try and clean it all up and put everything away. But things start coming in the door again, or I get lazy and throw things that need to hang up in my awful closet on my dresser so I don't have to go into the awful closet and deal with the closet. And so I said to my husband, do you remember being a teenager and how much you loved your room? I want to feel like that about my bedroom again. I want to feel when I go into my bedroom, I want to lay down and put on music I love and just enjoy my bedroom. Yeah. And like being in there.
Yeah.
Whereas right now it's the place I go at the end of the night. It's the place I leave first thing in the morning. And I don't go back into that room for the whole day because I'm out doing things, busy, whatever. Our main living space is our main living space. But it would be such a nice retreat if it could be a space that I enjoyed being in.
Yeah, I know. You said that question. I was like, oh man. Yeah.
Right.
I remember I was always in my room. It was perfect. It was immaculate.
Yeah.
I kept it so clean.
Me too. And I loved my space.
Me too.
It had the things that were there, art or tapestry or decoration, whatever was there, felt like me.
Yeah. And I think maybe because we didn't have the ability to spend all this money on stuff, we had what we loved. And that was it. And that was enough.
And it meant so much.
Even when I was a little kid, we had one laundry basket full of mine and Beth's toys and our dressers. There was nothing else in that room except for the bunk bed.
Yeah.
It was so empty. It echoed.
Yeah.
And I didn't hate it.
No.
I was outside all the time.
Yeah.
It's I've got my stuffed animal, I've got my xylophone, I've got my speak and spell. I'm good.
Yeah.
Rolling.
Oh man, I love speak and spell.
Me too. It took me a long time to learn view. V-E-I-W. No. Damn. View. V-I-E-W. Oh my gosh. I never ever got it wrong since.
I love that. And the disembodied voice.
Yeah.
So good.
Oh man, my dad was like, you're such a pro at this. I'm like, thank you.
How do you think an organized space supports work-life balance?
It's the psychology. It goes right back to the psychology because when you come home to only things that you love, like your teenage bedroom, it was like, oh, I can sleep so well. You know what I mean? You remember
Yeah.
that feeling. So you sleep better, you eat better, you schedule your time better because you know more what you want.
Right.
And like you were saying before, how we sit on the couch and we're hanging with our husbands and our kids and we're scheduling future things and we're not fully present in the moment. I find now that my space is organized, I actually block out time.
Right.
So like this is when I get to look at my phone and schedule things. And this is when I just relax and like lay down,
Yeah.
recline and just doom scroll.
Yeah.
But like an alarm goes off to tell me when to stop doom scrolling. And then I have to get up and do something else.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
That's smart.
I've made it myself, but I think that's because I feel so supported in my own space
Right
now.
Right.
I think it just comes naturally.
Yeah.
After you've gotten to that point of organization.
I could see that. I mean, I work from home. So that work-life balance, I have to be very dedicated to creating boundaries.
Yes. That actually makes you more efficient.
It does. Oh, absolutely it does.
It's funny. People like the less you do, the more efficient you are. Like, yep.
Yeah, because then you get the things done that actually need to get done. You're not busy making.
Yeah, you're not making yourself look busy. You're actually doing things that need to be done.
And I don't know about you, I'm sure everybody has that ongoing to-do list that's in their brain. That's like, you still have this to do. You still have that to do. You still have this to do. Oh, I'd love the time to organize the playroom. I'd love the time to, and I don't currently have that time, but it's also not a priority at the moment. There's just other things that have taken precedent. And I think that's important. When we triage the important things, then we're focusing on the important things. And then when we have the time to do that thing that's been kind of nagging at you, invest the time to do that thing, or put it on a calendar and set that time aside if it's so important to you, right? If it's not that important to you to the point where you're not putting that time aside in a calendar to deal with it, then stop worrying about it.
Yeah, it's true. If it's important enough to you, you're going to make it work.
Yeah. Sometimes the hands of the universe come down, and like our flood, because I'd been saying we have to clean out the crawl space. We have to clean out the crawl space. It has to happen. I'm going to call Amy and get her to come and help us go through the crawl space. And then it's flooded.
I do recall you saying I need help with the crawl space.
Yeah. And it was like,
I heard nothing. I'm like, what happened?
Okay.
Now I know.
The universe intervened and said, that's enough of that. Oh, you helped me quite a great deal clean out my mother's house before she passed. And since then, we've got a lot more left to do. And it's the harder stuff, the more personal stuff. Yeah. So it's been like baby steps going through that. But it's so challenging. On one hand, it feels really good to get it done. Yeah. And reclaim those spaces. And on the other, it's sad. Right? Because as you go through it, you're like, oh, this, oh, that. And sometimes it's good memories and sometimes it's not. So as you're going through it, it's very intense. It's very, very intense. And she was an academic. So she has a closet full of research.
I do remember seeing that.
What do you do with that? Right. So I had reached out to some of her colleagues and been like, does this have any value to anyone? Do you think anyone's going to want this? I don't know what to do with it.
Did you hear anything? I'm so curious.
I had one person write me back and said, I'm happy to take it and go through it all.
Oh, wow.
Which is so nice. I'm not sure she understands that it's a closet worth of stuff.
Here's the trunk full of
things. Like, do we ship it to her? I don't know. So it's really, she's in the States. So it's been an interesting journey learning to parse through other people's things. Right? Because some of these things meant a lot to her, but not so much to anyone else.
Right. But like anybody who's in her field.
Yeah.
Might be like, oh, this is gold.
Or just like, my mother was a knick-knack person for a very long time. Okay. So she had a lot of knickknacks, which is not my scene. I don't do knickknacks. Yeah. So she'd have, like little figurines of things, or she did a lot of work with different communities and organizations, and they would gift her something and that would mean something to her, and
Right.
so she would
To
keep it,
Right.
but it doesn't mean anything to anybody else in the house.
Right.
So there'd be like a little fat clay zebra in her office, and everyone's like, I don't want that.
Mhm.
But it meant something to her. So going through those things, it's really interesting because, is there a market for fat clay zebras? Do we are you trying to, do you try and resell things? Do you donate? It's been a really interesting journey, and doing that has shed a lot of light on what we have in our house and the kind of things that I just don't want to have in our house anymore.
Right. It's kind of exhausting.
Yeah.
Like, to say the least. It's a lot.
Yeah.
And you have to, the thing when you start is you have to be committed to finish. Otherwise it's just fruitless.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of futile to start and then just only be partway through, because you're just going to accumulate more.
This is the problem.
And like, I think that's why the KonMari method is so perfect, because she does start. Some people do have a problem parting with clothes. So starting with clothes doesn't work for everybody, I've noticed.
Right.
Like, I had a client and we spent 3 full sessions on just clothes.
Yeah.
Because she had so many clothes. But she loves clothes. Like,
yeah.
oh, that's my winter jacket. That's my spring sunny but not raining jacket. That's my
right.
And she had a specific article of clothing for every situation.
Yeah, I'm feeling a little seen.
I don't think I know enough about clothes.
I love clothes.
Fun. I have like 20 hangers in my closet, all perfectly spaced, all wooden, all the same.
Oh, beautiful.
It's done.
That's perfect. My dream. That's my dream, is to have a closet that looks like that. My reality is that I feel like I'm literally wrestling my closet every time I put a piece of clothing into it.
Yeah.
The closet issue for me causes me stress and makes my space less fun to be in.
Mm-hmm. Oh, for sure.
Right?
100%.
And
even
then,
though you can't necessarily see,
yeah,
your brain is like, I know what's in there. It's screaming at me.
Then the room feels full and I need less things in it.
Mm-hmm.
So much less.
Yeah.
And I honestly just don't know how to get there. So I feel the clothing thing heavily, because it's one of those things. I love my clothes, but I also know like probably 95% of it has to go for me to kind of start over.
Oh, and it feels so liberating.
I'm sure
like,
it
even
does.
when you love clothes, it's like, oh, I was holding onto those size 10 pants thinking I'd fit into them again. You know what? Forget it. I will buy size 10 pants if I'm a size 10 ever again.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, sure, it's something to strive for, but if you're not going to get healthy for you, then don't get healthy for trying to fit into pants.
Yeah, you're right.
The method, the clothing, papers, books, like, that's why it's in that order, so that when you finally get to the sentimental, you feel super confident in your abilities to let things go or keep things.
Yeah.
Like, you've honed your joy checking skills
to
perfection at that point. It took me many years of doing it over and over again, and I actually never finished that last bit.
Right.
It was hard.
Yeah.
I didn't trust myself
to get rid of things that were sentimental.
I didn't trust myself that I had done the first bit efficiently enough. So when I finally did this last time, I felt that click with the clothes, and then I felt that click with the papers, and then I felt that click with the books, and I was like, whoa, this is right. I've got this. And then I finally trusted myself
to tackle the sentimental stuff.
So now all of my sentimental items, I don't know if you ever saw it. There's this box of crepes that you can buy at Costco.
Okay.
And the boxes are beautiful, and they keep changing them they come out at Christmas and at Easter, and they're good, but I want the box.
Okay.
And
so you're basically buying the food for the box.
Yeah. And then there's like this magnet that holds, and all of my greeting cards, I've kept everything.
Right.
Because my mom's got,
my
mom's,
all
of her love and well wishes. And then I've got my photos in the other one.
Oh, nice.
And it's like perfect.
2 boxes.
2 boxes. And it's funny, I kept Sai's baby book and I was like, oh, I better finish that. I got to write in it. I got to finish.
Right.
I had all these notes written down to put into the book. I didn't realize I had already filled it out.
Oh.
So now I'm sitting on a finished baby book, not even realizing it.
Oh,
I'm like, oh, okay. So I've got those 2 boxes and Sai's baby book.
that's great.
And it's perfect.
Yeah.
And it sits under my dresser. I can still see it. If I want to look at it, it's right there.
Yeah.
It's beautifully hidden, but I know it's there.
Yeah. I have a drawer, but the drawer is getting full.
Mm-hmm.
And I need to come at it. I know I do.
Yeah.
And also this whole, you go through your, whoever's ever gone through this, like you're cleaning out your parents' homes and they have things that are sentimental to you that you never thought, oh, I have to either take it or it's gone.
Yeah.
And so you have these moments where you're like, oh man,
Yeah.
I don't want to take half their house home.
I know. It was so funny. Not funny at all, actually. My dad, after mom passed,
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. I guess because, while he was visiting mom every day at hospice, my sister and I decided to clean the kitchen because mom would smoke in the house. Many, many years of smoking in the house. So we degreased the paneling walls.
Yeah.
And it turned into a complete renovation.
Right.
We renovated the kitchen entirely.
Yeah.
So dad came home one day and was like, oh my, this looks entirely different. I'm like, are you okay with that? He's like, yeah. I'm like, I want to do your room next whenever you're ready.
Yeah.
Because they shared that room and I didn't want to just like change it.
No, of course
But
not. Yeah.
something happened about a month and a half to 3 months. I can't remember the exact timeline, but after mom had passed, dad was like, oh God, I got to get rid of everything.
Oh, wow.
And he boxed up all of mom's stuff. He's like, Amy, come over.
Yeah.
Take what you want.
Yeah.
So I took my birthday month mug,
Yeah.
my little spoon that she used to feed me with,
Yeah.
and that was it.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, what about her jewelry? I'm like,
Not
I don't
really
really
a
wear
jewelry person.
Not really.
Yeah. I'm sure a lot of people struggle when someone has passed away to go through that process. And it can feel really overwhelming at a time where you can't really handle it.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
It happens like that a lot.
Yeah.
Like you're forced to.
You're forced to. We've been lucky in that, my stepdad hasn't rushed it. And if and when he chooses to move is probably where we'll put the big, heavy effort in to clearing things out. I think right now he finds a lot of comfort in being around familiar things.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think about it a lot and I'm feeling like, oh, that's my responsibility. I have to go down and go through that with him.
Yeah.
But it's heavy. It's hard. So it's nice to kind of take the emotion out of it a little bit and come to a method. Right? Yeah. Something that has steps to follow.
Yeah, because then when you get to that final one, it is less heavy. It really is, because it's more of, okay, this meant a lot to her, but what does it mean to me?
Yeah. Or anyone else for that matter.
Right.
Does anyone
guarantee someone wants a fat clay zebra. You take that to the breed store and someone will be like, oh my God, I love him.
It was perfect for my, maybe.
You just never know.
Yeah, maybe. There's things, right? And it's funny too when we have conversations around the things that I did want. I remember it was like 2 weeks before my mom died. We were talking about art. And she's like, I really want you to think about the art on the walls in this house and what you want to keep and what you don't want to keep. And I was like, okay. And I said, I love that picture with the river rocks, the stones. And she goes, Risha, that's a poster. And I'm like, okay, well, I love it. No. What I'm saying is there's actual art in the house that has value. And I said, that means something to me. We've had that poster my whole life. It's been framed that way my whole life. I think it's beautiful. Wow. It's right in line with the style that I like. It's very modern and clean lines and nature focused. And I really want that. And she was like, okay, fine. you get the poster. But, and she got really upset with me. She had this beautiful painting made, and it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's not in my style at all. My husband really likes it. So I was like, okay.
We'll hang it in your office with
We'll
you.
hang it with probably in
Yeah.
Rick's office. It'll look great down there.
Mhm.
But it's not really my style. And it's interesting when you're going through this. Like, it's fun to have those memories as you're going through it, because it's, oh, look at the coat I bought her and she refused to ever wear.
Yes.
I wonder if it fits me. Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's heavy. It's a heavy process. So having something to follow is really helpful. But also understanding that the things that you have a sentimental connection to might not always feel practical.
No.
Like, I have this little figurine of, I don't even know what it is. It's a ball of clay playing a flute, but I remember it from being a tiny child.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of all I wanted was that and the poster. So they're all laughing at me because
Yeah, like, the weirdo. There's no value in this. Like, but there is.
I'm not a stuff
It
person.
sparks joy for me.
Yeah, for me. So it's a strange moment when you're going through things. And then people second guess, you sure? You sure you don't want this really expensive thing? Well, yeah, it's just because it's worth money doesn't mean it has value to me.
Yeah, like I wouldn't even know who to sell it to for money.
And even
At
then,
this
wouldn't I
point-
then feel bad about selling
Right.
it for
Yeah,
money? I
like,
don't know.
wanna liquidate your stuff just to have money.
I don't know.
I don't want your stuff just like, I've already got these two things. They remind me of you. They make me happy.
Yeah,
It's so hard.
it is hard. I feel like some of the, in her mind, it was this original art can be handed down through the family for years to come. I see that.
Mm-hmm.
I also see that this original art could be donated to a local museum, and it could be literally on loan
Mm-hmm.
for as long as it needs to be,
Yeah.
to honor that Canadian artist that did that beautiful piece. And
That's a
many
great
people could
idea.
enjoy it
That is a super great idea.
instead of just me.
Right? And then you don't have to have it in your house.
Well,
No offense, Mom. I still love you
no,
forever.
I don't know. It's an interesting conversation around what you connect to, what you
Yeah.
don't. And how many things do you have in your house that you have no connection to?
Most of everyone else's belongings.
No.
But I can't force them. I can just nudge a little bit, like, hey, if you need help, let me know.
Yeah.
And like both of the teenagers, they're both good. Well, the other one's gonna be 17 soon, but they'll both be 17. And you can open their doors and be like, yep, this is a 17-year-old's room.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't understand how, when was the last time you did laundry? That weird laundry pile is gonna walk soon. You should wash your clothes. The washer's empty.
Yeah.
It's all yours.
Yeah.
And like, I forget how to do laundry. No, that's no excuse. There's instructions.
Yeah. On everything.
I've literally laminated instructions for you.
Oh, you're such a good mom.
Even with the dishwasher, like we never had a dishwasher. The kids grew up with no dishwasher. So now
Right.
it's like, oh, a dishwasher. Right. That's
Yeah.
why I just leave it open when I leave the house.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
like,
not
oh,
rocket
yeah,
science, guys.
dishwasher.
Yeah.
It's really easy. And you don't have to hand wash the dishes. Unless you want me to say, hey, you're on dishes. Like, oh, I guess we have a dishwasher. That's easy.
We learn, we grow. We learn, we grow.
Mm-hmm. But like, back to the whole taking things that people are trying to give to you. It's really hard to set boundaries sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Like my mom thankfully wasn't like that. She was kind of delirious. So I don't think she was really even with us when she was with us.
Yeah.
So she never pushed for anything.
Yeah.
No, she was just like,
My mom came and went in that space, but a lot of times when she was lucid, I was being told.
oh yeah, you're taking that.
Yeah. Right.
My mom, there was only one thing she was clear on. She wanted to be cremated and then flushed down the toilet.
Oh my God.
And I was like, Mom, we're not flushing you down the toilet. She's like, you could if you wanted to. I don't care. Just cremate me. It's cheaper. So instead, we divided her 4 ways.
Sure.
So all the kids and dad all have a
Yeah.
piece of Mom, and we all have her hanging in our rear view mirror.
Oh, that's
Little,
cute.
We've got the little box for
Yeah.
obituary. I laminated 4 of them.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah. That's so nice.
and she's like, okay,
That's
probably,
so funny.
she's probably happy with that.
We have a culture of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And there was, for the longest time, I mean, I don't know what it was like at your house, but my mother was always big on etiquette. So, you're invited to someone's house, you bring something, now she was also very old school. So she would make her own jams and jellies and pickles and relish. And so when we had to bring a gift of some kind, it was usually something consumable. However, that's not always the case, right? So you go to someone's house and you're like, I have to bring something.
Mm-hmm.
I never wanted to be something that has to live in their house forever.
Right.
Because I don't want to contribute to the stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
I get that.
And so we have this etiquette built around bringing stuff and things and trinkets and whatever. We have this etiquette where for birthdays, we give gifts and instead of experiences or time or a meal and I'm trying so hard to shift more. And I think a lot of people are into the experiences and the time and the events and instead of the stuff.
Right.
Because it's not serving me. If anything, it's making me more stressed out. Unless there's something very specific that I say, I would like this, or I need this, or I want this. But generally, I'm not.
I know. I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm with you. And like, I've been pushing for the last 2 years. Like, can we just like go somewhere?
Yeah.
I don't really necessarily want to buy a tree. Like, we've been getting a real tree ever since we got into this house. It's a real tree.
Yeah.
So for storage reasons, we're storing a tree stand.
Right.
And decorations.
Yeah.
There's no big plastic tree.
Yeah.
Hanging out in the basement.
Yeah.
But like, I still would much rather just go somewhere.
Yeah.
Like, he's all about the tradition of it. Like,
yeah.
Oh, I want to spoil my kids. I'm like, yeah, but like, if we go somewhere that's spoiling the kids with like something of value,
something else
that they'll remember forever.
There can be both.
I mean, I guess.
Right? We can do both things.
We bought all the Rubik's Cubes. Like, they have all the Rubik's Cubes.
But I mean, like, 1 year you could go away and that's the gift. And next year you stay home and you do a thing. And then the year after you go away and that's the gift. Ultimately, you can build it that way if you want to, right? I find as my kids are getting older, especially the youngest one needs so much less stuff. Because he's inheriting all of the stuff from the older kid.
Right.
And so I'm always at a loss at what to do for him. So I don't know. And I'm waiting. He's 3.5. So he's also not in love with any one toy or any one thing. Whereas my oldest will be, I'm obsessed with this right now. And this is what I want for my birthday. Okay. My youngest is really mellow and not really
easygoing.
Yeah, really easygoing. So he's tough. And so I'll be like, let's go do something for the birthday. Okay. It's just how he rolls.
He's cool. I really like your kids.
They're good kids.
It's so funny though, because when they get older, it's like, what do you want for Christmas? And it's like never under $600. I'm like, guys, come on.
Yeah.
Like, we could go on vacation for this price.
Yeah.
Let's do that instead. No, I really want that. Like,
well, yeah, it's hard. It's hard to combat the consumerism. It's hard, especially your young brains don't know any better. They want it because their buddy has it, or they saw a commercial and it appealed or whatever. That's a hard thing to try and combat from a parenting point of view.
It is.
It has to be societal. We have to do a major societal shift, I feel like, to really eliminate the want of unnecessary junk. Do you have an example of a time where you have helped someone organize something and it brought them a noticeable shift in lifestyle?
Yeah.
Can you share that with us?
Yeah. So I had a client, it was probably I think my first like paying client
Yeah.
since I started the business. And her boyfriend had been taken to jail.
Oh no. Okay.
So she was like free.
Right.
And her whole entire house was just, you could tell there was like some bad stuff going on.
Right.
So after like taking a shovel and putting everything outside into garbage bags
Mm-hmm.
and giving it a quick once over, a nice clean, and then we went through her closet in her bedroom and took everything of his out and kept everything of hers that she loved. Oh my God, she was in tears the whole time. She was just like, this is so life-changing.
Yeah.
And I was like, how, like, I hope so. That's the point. But she wept. And then she kept sending me emails every week. Like, my closet still looks amazing. My bedroom still looks amazing. We rearranged the layout of the room, and she got rid of so much stuff, but like mainly just her living room and her bedroom.
Yeah.
But it was just so much. And she's like, you should have charged me 5 times the amount. Like, it's just invaluable what you've done for me.
Yeah.
And
that's got to feel good.
she actually sends me emails once in a while still.
Yeah.
Like, it's still going strong. I'm like, good for you.
Yeah.
Most people, if they don't do their whole house, it tends to overlap into other rooms again.
Sure. I could see that.
But I guess after the new life change, I guess.
Yeah.
She was so happy. And I think she's moved since then, but
it's such a big deal, I think. It's such a big deal to rearrange your space in a way that works for you, and also see the things that work for you and bring you joy. Eliminate the fluff.
Eliminate what doesn't serve you.
Right?
100%. Like, I mean, even as far as the person being removed physically.
100%.
Like, yeah, I think that was the starting point, because at that point, I felt so bad even saying that, but I'm not giving any names or any details, but like, that was the start for her.
Sure.
Like, that was like
that would be a huge
ass that she needed to change everything. And then she was like, oh my God. But then again, when you're out of the situation, it's like a switch goes off and you're like, oh, hi, that's me. I'm me again. I get to be me. No one's telling me not to be me. No one's telling me to be less than me.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
there's lots of life events that would come through that way too, right? Like a breakup, a divorce, a death in the family, any kind of shift like that. Bringing someone in to help you through parsing that stuff, going through your things, understanding what's serving you, that would be really comforting, I feel like, in those moments.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like
you're not on it all alone, trying to find your new normal.
Yeah. It's like you have a coach that's like an expert in that field.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's what a coach is, but it's just nice.
Yeah.
I know, like, I've had you as my coach, and I was like, oh my God, life-changing. Thank you.
Oh, that's nice. Thanks, Amy.
It's true.
I love my job, and I love the results of my job, and it continues to inspire me to continue to do my job. And I think you're the same way.
Oh my God. So fulfilling. Like, honestly, I don't think there are enough words in this language to convey how much I love this job.
Yeah. Like, well, you can tell. And it's wonderful working with you. I've hired you to come and work with me. We built my whole basement, and I love that space. The space is amazing. And to be able to love your home in a way, and you built it, has a whole other feeling.
Yeah.
Than someone came and did it the way I asked them to.
Yeah. We made some pretty good memories down there.
Yeah.
Listening to Spotify.
Yeah.
Like, what
it's
are we listening to?
Fun. Yeah. It's 90s jam. Well, thank you for joining me on this podcast. I'm sure some people have walked away some great ideas. And if you're looking to hire someone to come in and help you, this is your sign. Get out there and bring someone in. Amy works out of the Simcoe, Muskoka area, and she will travel.
Or I could do it remotely.
Or she could do it remotely. Spotless Mind is what you're looking for. Amy Price. She's lovely. And we're so lucky to have her here today. And join us next week for our next episode. And we really hope that you've been enjoying these chats. I know I have. Every time a new person crosses the threshold, I learn something different.
Well, thank you for having me.
It's a fun day.
It's been fun.
Yay.
Yay.
Thank you for listening. Like and subscribe to our channel wherever you listen to podcasts. Visit www.yorkmotivational.com for more information on my Super Type A Attempt at Being Zen, the coaching program, Lead Without Permission, or visit our contact page to reach out to Risha. Wishing you all continued balance and fulfillment on your road to Zen.